In today's day and age, we see people on the internet going on about how the hijab is a choice, and how they wear it as a symbol of faith in Islam. But these people have it all wrong. The hijab is not a choice, and their proof that it is a choice is so clearly non-existent that I can't even call it weak. They say things like, it's not in the Quran, or hijab is not showing skin, aka wearing long pants and long sleeves. But we know this is not true. As Muslims, we have to understand that if you see that something you're doing is haram, and you turn away, and you deny the truth out of your lack of wanting to do what Allah commanded you to do, you are sinning. Some people want to do what they want to do, and that's okay if you're fine with the punishments of doing what you want. But you can't bend and twist the religion to fit your desires. If you as a Muslim woman want to wear a scarf with pants and a shirt, then fine. But don't post yourself online lying to your viewers about how you're wearing proper hijab. And that hijab is just about expression, and it's a choice. Because it's not. But we live in America. It is a choice. Yes, of course anyone can choose to not wear hijab, no matter where they live. But religiously, there isn't a choice. According to Islam, you have to wear hijab, and to not is a major sin. Just like not eating pork isn't a choice, or praying, or making wudu. As Muslim women, we have to accept the fact that covering is a part of our religion, and that it isn't a choice. Yes, it's been many, many years since the Quran was revealed, and some people think that because of that we need to change. Is Allah not all-knowing? Do you think He didn't know we'd be where we are in society today? Of course, He is all-knowing and all-seeing. If Allah wanted the rules to be different today, He would have made it known. Now let's look into the proof that we have regarding wearing the hijab, it being mandatory, and what qualifies as hijab. Wearing long pants and long shirt with a scarf as hijab. Allah the Most High said, O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the women of the believers to draw their cloaks, veils, all over their bodies, that is, screen themselves completely except the eyes or one eye to see the way. That will be better, that they should be known as free, respectable women, so as not to be annoyed. And Allah is ever oft forgiving, most merciful. This verse clearly states that it is obligatory to cover all of a woman's beauty and adornments, and not to display any part of that before non-mahram men, strangers, except for whatever appears unintentionally, in which case there will be no sin on them if they hasten to cover it up. Al-Hafiz ibn Kathir said in his Tafseer, this means that they should not display any part of their adornment to non-mahrams, apart from that which it is impossible to conceal. Ibn Masud said, such as the cloak and robe, that is, what the women of the Arabs used to wear, an outer garment which covered whatever the woman was wearing, except for whatever appeared from beneath the outer garment. There is no sin on a woman with regard to this, because it is impossible to conceal it. With that, we can clearly see that both Ibn Kathir and Ibn Masud agree that it is meant to go over your clothes and cover like a cloak. So that removes the possibility of you wearing a scarf with a long shirt and long pants. Let's continue. Wearing perfume or scented oils. It is easy to find many hadith that mention this topic, but we'll keep it to two. Abu Huraira said, the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, any woman who has scented herself with bukur, incense, let her not attend Isha prayers with us. Musa ibn Yasar said that a woman passed by Abu Huraira, and her scent was overpowering. He said, O female slave of Al-Jabbar, are you going to the mosque? She said, yes, he said, and have you put on perfume because of that? She said, yes. He said, go back and wash yourself, for I heard the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, if a woman comes out to the mosque and her fragrance is overpowering, Allah will not accept any prayer from her until she goes home and washes herself. And if you do your research, you will find similar hadith. And I know some of you are already writing in the comments about how it's not from Islam to judge people. I am not judging anyone. Telling someone that they're wrong and showing the proof for it is not judging. Any sin can be the one to tip the scale and have you dwelling in hell forever. Something else I think needs to be covered alongside this topic is the responsibility of the men over the women. I hear it a lot from women, mostly online, I might add. Because there is a difference between women in the real world and women online, but the point still holds. But it is that the topic of hijab should only be something discussed by women, and there is no legitimate reasoning for this. Some will say because it's not the business of the men or because it's a sensitive topic. Well, let's evaluate these answers. The first one being, it's not a man's business. This statement is that of a feminist. Because with the smallest bit of research, you would come to realize that there aren't many women scholars and or teachers, and the ones who are teaching most don't have proper hijab and they're online, and they show themselves. They're not upon the Quran and the Sunnah. A lot of us see people online and we think, oh, he's a scholar, she's a scholar, but no, most, and nearly none of them are. Also, it is the man's job to run the house, and if you live with your father or husband, it is their job to make sure you're dressing properly before you leave the house. How could they, if they have no knowledge of the topic? Lastly, there are no topics that anyone has to avoid Islamically because of their gender. Hijab is a sensitive topic. In all honesty, this can be said about a variety of things in Islam. But the reality is that it's not a sensitive matter. Allah commanded you to do a thing, and it should be done for His sake. But I could say that men being a provider is a sensitive topic, and that women shouldn't speak on it. Because in actuality, women speak on this issue quite often, and there's nothing wrong with this. Ending notes. If you feel offended by this video, I apologize as this is not my intention, and if you got something beneficial from it, then thank Allah. Glory to the Lord of all things. Also, if there's something you want to say, leave it in the comments below. This channel is new, and if you enjoyed this video, give me a follow, and until the next video, salam.
قال لا تخافا إنني معكما